What's going on, guys? Today I'm going to be doing a review on the TPZ 135 LAGP extra stiff putter golf shaft, and I have it in a 2016, I think, Scotty Cameron Newport 2 traditional plumber's neck. This is a custom one. I have like my name on the back, I have a dot on it. However, stay tuned because I will be doing a comparison against the traditional one. Here we go. Traditional one, completely stock, no custom on it, same length, 33 inches, steel shaft. I'll be doing a comparison between the two, and I'll try and let you guys know a kind of apples to apples comparison. Apples to apples. Right, so this test is going to be very, very good for you guys to kind of like gauge whether you should get this or not, because not only is it the same grip, it's the same head, the same length. This would be a good way to gauge whether you should or shouldn't get this. And then also in the comparison, I will be testing this is a old ping answer. If you know anything about ping answers and ping clubs in general, at least, and when Karsten used to run the company, he likes really light shafts in the putters, right? So this would be a opposite of the extreme a comparison, right? Because this shaft is even lighter and less stiff than this shaft, right? Also very similar grips. This is a mid-size PP58 full cord. This is just a regular Pistolini Scotty Cameron grip. So this one is going to be better at absorbing shock than this one. It's a little bit thicker, it's a little bit softer, and the material is more, it's like a thicker rubber. This is very thin. Right, so let's just get kind of like into the meat and potatoes of this review, right? So should you or should you not get this putter shaft in your club? When you are putting on the course with these two putters, you cannot tell the difference in terms of the forgiveness. You can definitely tell the difference in the stroke and in the feel off the club head and in the follow through and the takeaway, in everything. This putter shaft is much heavier and much stiffer, and you don't really realize how soft a shaft like this really is until you've tested a ultra stiff graphite shaft. Compare it to like going from a stiff flex to an X stiff flex in a driver, right? So it's like you can definitely feel it, but it's not like it's like a end of the world. It's not like you're going from like ladies flex to X stiff. Think of it more going like from stiff to X stiff, and then adding like 10 grams on the driver. I'm being serious, that's how it does feel. It feels different. So before you put this in your putter, you should definitely go test it out. Go to a Club Champion, or go to like the store that's selling this. Go to an LAGP location if you're in LA, right? Test it out. Test out the 135 and the 105. Remember, I have the 135, so that's maybe why it's so stiff and so heavy. You can definitely tell there's a huge difference. I mean, it's like what most people say is, how can a stiff steel shaft get any stiffer, and how can you really feel it? You can, right? You definitely can. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? It's kind of like up to the eye of the beholder, because when you mishit this, let's say, you will feel it a lot more than you will with this. And you may be thinking like, what, really? Yeah, so that's just what I've noticed, right? So if you mishit this, the vibrations kind of travel into your hand in a more aggressive way. So what I would suggest is, if you're gonna put this type of shaft in your putter, you should be looking to go into more like a super stroke, like a thicker type of grip, something like this, right? This is like a Golf Pride like type of, just a normal like oversized grip that's like a softer material, right? Because when you mishit this, you can definitely feel it more in your hand. And like, if you like that, then by all means go ahead, right? But sometimes it ruins your confidence. I think like that's like the whole reason why you would ever get this, right? Because you cannot feel it. You can't be like, you know, if I had the LAGP shaft in that putter, I would have made that putt. Or, oh, I made that putt because this nice $400 shaft made sure that my club face didn't deflect in my follow through and had less flex at impact. Therefore, that helped me make that 3-footer. Like, you cannot tell, right? So you would only be getting the shaft if you believe in the science, and that believing in the science gives you confidence to not stress over mishitting. But if you mishit it and you feel the vibrations in your hand more and the sweet spot becomes smaller, in not like obviously it's not smaller, but you think it's smaller, then that could also ruin your confidence, because no matter how good you hit the putt, you're like, oh, I mishit it, and then your confidence starts to drop. So if you like to get really good feedback from where you hit it on the face and don't want like a huge sweet spot, then yeah, I think this is better for you, because you can get really good feedback as to where you hit it on the club face. For example, this putter is a Marksman, right? So this has a white hot insert, not a white hot, it has their O-Works insert, which is like a soft version. It's a soft insert, right? So you can hit this anywhere, basically from like here to here, and it feels the same. So if you like that softer, like hit it anywhere on the face, feels good feel, this is probably not it. Also, I do have a thicker grip on this, so it kind of like the vibrations are less in my hand. I mean, anyone on tour who uses like this super stiff graphite shaft tends to have a thicker grip, right? So who uses this? Dustin Johnson and Bryson DeChambeau. They're both partners with LAGP, and they both have thicker grips, right? So DJ plays the Pistol GT 1.0 from Super Stroke, so that could help kind of like deflect how soft it feels off the face. He also has a Spider, which has an insert, which has deeper grooves, so it's gonna feel softer. So that's kind of like one reason for maybe it feeling better for him in his hands. And then you have Bryson, who has the, you know, the Jumbo Max arm block, which is huge, right? So it's gonna feel different for him. Obviously, this is like as thin as it gets, right? Here is the old shaft that I had in the putter. You can see where the epoxy used to reside, and I had a little half an inch extender on it. Pro tip: if you live in California and you like are an avid Scotty Cameron, I guess fan or like buyer, if you go to their store in Del Mar to buy a grip or buy any head cover from them, do not show up with an extender on the back of your putter, okay? They will not sell you a grip, okay? Because I went to go buy this grip, and I you know, me being the nice guy I was, I took the old grip off, right? I used to have a Pistol GT Tour, the one that Justin Thomas uses. I used to have that on this putter. Well, it was the other putter, but back in that time I was using the steel shaft, right? So I used to have a Pistol GT Tour. So I took it off, me nice guy, cut it off for them, took the whole tape off, and I handed them the putter, you know, like this, and they're like, oh yeah, we can't sell you this grip. Buddy, I drove 45 minutes and I'm paying $50 for Chinese rubber, and you're not gonna sell it to me because I have a half an inch extender on the back of my putter? So basically I just begged. I was like, please, and then he like was like, fine, I'll let it slide. But like, just know, also, if you show up to the custom shop with this shaft in your putter, they will not sell you anything. Do not show up to any Scotty Cameron retailer with this shaft in your putter. Make sure that you have a hosel, like a plumber's neck, like an answer style neck that has like the offset or whatever, but mostly it's this like piece right here. You can't put this shaft into a double bend profile unless it's like custom made by the manufacturer, right? So you see this, let me pull it out on these putters, but it has to be this type of neck. You can't put it into this part of a double bend. So don't like, you know, get all excited about buying this shaft and then show up to the shop, hand the guy $400, he sells you the shaft, and then you go to like your golf mart to get it installed or wherever you want to get it installed, Club Champion, and then you like hand them a putter like this. They're gonna be like, sorry bucko, you gotta go return that. But that kind of sums it up. I think the conclusion is this will only help you if the confidence from having the knowledge that you will get a more forgiving strike alleviates the mental pressure over putts, which then lets you have a more free-flowing stroke without doubt. That will then help you make putts. That is the only way that this is going to help you. Should you get this? yes and no. Also, my experiences are kind of like subjective because I do have the 135, so maybe the 105 feels different. I mean, I got this grip because it looks cool. Like, tell me it does not look cool. Black and red on the black and red shaft, all the way down to like the black and red decals on this. It looks pretty sick, all right? You can hang this on the wall and someone can walk in there and be like, holy crap, that's a nice piece of art. But besides that, if you want to spend $1,000 on a putter that has this shaft and the Scotty Cameron head and the overpriced grip, it's not a game changer, right? But I'm gonna go ahead and go in the backyard and do a test, right? I'm gonna test these three. So the very beginning of the spectrum to the middle of the spectrum to the end of the spectrum, right? So light, medium, and extra stiff on the right. Okay, so I'm here in my backyard. I'm gonna be doing a test where I go around the loop, all the way around, once forward, and then once backwards, and I'll count how many putts I make with all three of the putters, and then whichever putter I make the most putts with is the winner of this little competition / test. Just to be fully clear, I'm using a Titleist Pro V1X, red one, and then the 2021 version. So just keep that in mind. Alright, so that kind of concludes our little mini test. The winner was the LAGP golf shafted Scotty. To be fair, this has been my gamer for like the past few months. Second place was the Answer. This has been my gamer for the past 3 days because this guy hasn't been cooperating recently, so I have to like scare it with this one. And oh, house barking. Video, Ralphie. And third place is the traditional base model Newport 2 Scotty Cameron. To be fair, this is my first time picking this putter up in years. This is actually my dad's putter. We just happen to have the same one. We bought it at the same time a couple years ago. But this is the last place putter. I do dislike having the flange line instead of the top line, so that could kind of be it. Alright, so conclusion. Is the LAGP TPZ 135 $400 golf shaft without installation worth it? Yes and no. Let's say, okay, here's what I gotta say. If you got money and you got nothing else to spend it on, I would say that this shaft probably gives you about extra 5 style points and like an extra like 2 confidence points. So take it for what you will. Let's just say that if I didn't get this for cheaper than $400, I would not buy it again. Alright,